My name is Luca. I live on the ocean floor. I'm a sea monster until I swim out the door. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel for a review of Pixar's Luca. So let's take a Luca and see what we think of it. Alright, so start off with the good stuff. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than I did the Unspeakable Onward. Onward was reverse word for me, like blech. Coco, oh my god, everybody I work with loves Coco. Me, I'm like, I'll drink this stuff, but the movie, it's not horrible, just whatever. So Luca, I enjoyed. However, do I want to get into... Okay, there's a mystery thing I want to ask you a question about at the end, so stick around for that, please, if you want to help me out here and help the channel. Okay, so what is the movie about? This is where it gets weird. It's a movie about sea monsters that when they leave the ocean and become dry, they turn into humans. Do they explain why? No, and that's what I want to ask you about later. And so even when they're on land, see how they're on land right here? If he gets wet or he gets wet, they're going to, the part of their body that gets wet turns into sea monster. Again, they give no reasoning for it. Now here's the girl. Now, I make comments often in the videos if the programs or the films are woke. This film is not woke. Yay, thank the Lord. But is it harking back to the 1960s where the girl is stronger than the boys and can always outdo them, and the guys are goofy and the girl's really smart? Oh, good God, they are still following that trope that was started, seriously, whatever year the feminist agenda started. Yes, way back to that girl and everything from the 60s on. So they're still following that very worn out trope. Alright, now you might notice that this gigantic fellow here only has one arm. I am so not going to tell you how that happens, but I will say this. I kind of like that. It was, like, nice. And, because I know a fellowette, actually, who had the same circumstance. So I'm like, oh, does it have to do with this gigantic shark teeth? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. Okay, now the animation is superb, as always, especially from Pixar. It does have one of the issues that Pixar does that has bugged me since, oh my god, Toy Story 2. And forgive me if you don't feel the same way about this that I do, but it's like this. I prefer a movie that is written by at least one person and not a committee. I can't stand committee movies. This is my formula. Have one person write it and two or three help it. In other words, one defines the movie and the other ones refine it. But when you put it under a committee like all Pixar movies have since, except for the solo projects, they are just, you can tell, they're so, it's like if you take a quarter and you flip the quarter in the air and it hits the Pixar movie, it will bounce off. The movie is that perfectly tight. And it's like, okay, but that's not natural. When you have one person writing the story, again, if you go back and you watch those little 3 to 5 minute ones that Pixar make that are done by one guy or girl, of course, then wow, they just ooze with personality and character. But when you fill them up with everybody, they just like yawn. This one, it has some of that. It does. That's why the girl is the smart one and the more athletic, and the list goes on and on. But it's not as bad as the rest. Or I've just been worn down. No, I don't think so. Anyway, so that's what it does. It's a fun movie. The parent interaction's really cool. The kid interaction's really cool. The friend dude, okay, like here's Luca as a human. Here's this sea monster friend dude. This guy has a wonderful character arc that is like, that's why we like Pixar, because he goes through lots of emotions that are like, are relatable, and it's like, I get it. Now, it does take place supposedly in Italy in the 1960s. There's very little in the movie to make you aware of that. I mean, I guess if you're from Italy in the 1960s, you can catch on all this stuff, but for just a normal movie viewer, it's like, it's just kind of a timeless movie. It's all good. And, yeah, because, like, I haven't actually been to Italy. So, there you go. Alright, let's get to the question. Because we covered the fact that the animation's good, the story's good, It uses old tropes from the feminist agenda. What are you going to do? And is it worth watching? I think it's way better than, again, The Unspeakable Onward. So yeah. So there's my review. I enjoyed it. Now let's get to the question. And I really mean this to all of you, particularly those of you that work with kids or have children, or both, as the case may be. So here's my question. I asked my students the other day, because summer camp is going, yay, and I said, did you guys see Luca? And not many of them did, because it didn't play at the theaters, but enough seen it. And I said, did you guys see Little Mermaid? Well, obviously they've all seen Little Mermaid. And then I asked them, I go, how did Little Mermaid turn into the mermaid? And they all screamed at the same time, because that's what kids do. And they said, magic! And they're correct. Well, in Luca, there's nothing at all that tells you how it happens. Why is it only the sea monsters can turn into humans? Why is it the sea monsters turn into humans unless they're wet? Even the little spot of them gets wet from a raindrop. As the raindrop goes down, it will turn that part into a sea monster. Okay, but how and why? Now here's my question for you parents and people that work with kids. All of the movies, when we make kids movies are made to teach them something. That's what makes it a kids movie. It's not just a simple story. No, you're actually trying to get them to buy into something. In The Little Mermaid, you're getting them to buy into the idea that if you do magic, it comes with a heavy-duty price, and that in the end, love wins out. Over and over and over throughout the story, that's the underlying theme, is love always wins out, which is, okay, that's a good thing to teach. Now, when you get into this movie, you have a new phenomenon, which is, because they don't explain at all how it is that the sea monsters turn into humans, you're forced to go, it's just a story, just go with it. Okay, but do we want, and I don't know the answer to this, I'm asking you, do we want children's movies to be in the position of saying, don't think about it, just go with it? Do we want that for kids' movies? Now, we all make fun of the fact that summertime popcorn movies, that's the whole point of a summer popcorn movie, is you turn your brain off and you just enjoy the movie. But those are for teenagers and grown-ups. I'm not saying kids can't enjoy them, but do we want to start producing, again, from the highest end of the film production world, Pixar, do we want to start putting out movies that that corners the kid into saying, don't think about that? Because that is the reverse of Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Lion King. I don't care which one you pick. Even if you forget Disney, you go to other studios, you go to children's books, children's stories, they all come back to, when you think about that, little Johnny Joe and little Sarah Sue and little Jose and little Maria and all the other diversity names you want to fill in, what do you think about that story, and why do you think about it? Well, in Luca, the main feature of the movie is sea monsters turning into humans, and when they get wet, they become sea monsters, even if it's a small part of their body. And we're telling the kids, no, don't think about that, just move on. How do you feel about that? Because I don't know if that's good territory to go to. I mean, we've only got one movie that's done it that I'm aware of, and it's this one right here. But if they all start going in that direction, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. Because if you look at this movie and you take that element out, which you force the children to do, don't think of that, you have, as horrible as this sounds, it's a coming-of-age story. It's like, oh, but he's only like 12. It's like, it's still a coming-of-age story. And coming-of-age stories aren't for children. They're for teenagers and for grown-ups. And this movie's for kids. So can you see the dichotomy that's like racking my brain here? And I've asked other people about it, and again, since this is the only example we have of it, nobody actually has a prepared answer for it. They've never thought about it. So please think about it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you somewhere in the future, because like I said, summer camp is going. I just wanted to get back, and I missed you guys. So here you are. Bye. See ya in the future.